What's up everyone, I'm Eldridge, and today I'm going to show you how to make some damn money in Gloria Victis. And not by trading with other players, which is a little unreliable depending on where you are and what time of the day it is and the supply and demand of the situation and all that. But instead we are going to make really easy money completely by ourselves without having to rely on anyone else. For this to work, the first thing you have to do is buy 3 recipes from the Armorsmith NPC in the starter town. So if you are playing in Izmir, this is where you can find the Armorsmith NPC, and if you are a Midlander, this is where you can find your Armorsmith NPC. The 3 recipes in question are steel rings, steel wire, and mail 5-in-1. It won't cost you very much, but you will have to go out and kill some basic level 1 outcasts and bandits for a little bit of money so you can afford these starter recipes. With our recipes in hand, we are now going to gather the necessary materials. And I'm going to scale everything we need by the limonite that we collect. So if you can collect more limonite, you're also going to require more of the other materials. And if you can't find that much limonite to begin with, then you just have to scale down the other materials as well. So we will go with 100 limonite, if you have your 100 limonite collected. And as a reminder, this is what a limonite node looks like. Then you are going to need 4,000 wood billets and 2,200 charcoal, which translates to about 420 logs of wood. You are going to be safer with about 450 to 460, because this will allow for some variation in the crafting process, as there is some RNG as to how much you get out of every crafting step. Now, it does not matter what kind of wood you collect, you're just going to need 420 logs in total. If you collect some ash wood and some elm and some oak and some pine, that's totally fine. You just have to remember that in the crafting window, once you are making your wood billets and your charcoal, you're going to have to swap around the wood once you run out of one of the types. Now, as soon as you have your 100 limonite and you're between 420 and 460 logs, you should start by making your wood billets and your charcoal. Now, for any of this to really work, you are going to have to make every single thing at its corresponding workshop. Wood billets and charcoal are part of forestry and farming, and as such you can make them at either a stump, a charcoal pile, or a spinning wheel. Yes, even a spinning wheel will allow you to make wood billets and charcoal. The remaining steps afterwards are in mining and metallurgy, engineering, and armorsmithing. For the mining and metallurgy, you will need a bloomery or roasting fire. For the engineering, you will need a lime kiln, and for the armorsmithing, you will either need a hearth or an anvil. All of these workshops are available somewhere in the starter town. For the Midlanders, I do believe they are all within the city, whereas for the Izmir, some of them are outside the city to the south of the main fortress area where you begin your character. So after you've made your wood billets and charcoal, you are going to turn your limonite into small lumps of iron. This is the most RNG step. If you're really lucky, you can get up to 110 lumps of iron, and if you're unlucky, you're gonna get below 100 lumps of iron. And that is going to impact how much more material you will have in the further steps. If you do get over 110 lumps of iron, you're probably going to need more logs. After that, we're going to turn these small lumps of iron into iron grivna. Once completed, we are going to use the charcoal to turn the iron grivna into semi-hardened steel ingots. Make sure that you are choosing semi-hardened steel ingots, because there are also soft and hard steel ingots, and we don't need either of those as they don't make the correct items afterwards. With your semi-hardened steel ingots, we are now finished with the mining and metallurgy, so you have to move on to the engineering station and make thick steel wire. And this is the point where we are going to start making some damn money. In all the steps before this, we have basically converted our materials close to 1-to-1, but as soon as we are starting to make steel wire, we are multiplying our materials by quite a lot. Once you have completed your thick steel wire, it is time to move to the armorsmithing station to make big steel rings. Making big steel rings is probably going to take the longest. It's not very entertaining because there's really nothing happening and you're just waiting for a process, so bring a book or do something else while you're doing this step. Once completed, we're going to have thousands of big steel rings, so also make sure that you have enough bag space to house all these big steel rings. And now as our last step, we are going to turn the big steel rings into mail 5-in-1. This should also definitely take a while, but at the end you will have on average between 1,000 and 1,500 mail 5-in-1. And with every single male 5-in-1 having a value of over 5 bronze and selling for 1 bronze and 33 copper at the vendor, you are now going to make a ton of money just selling all of these male 5-in-1 to the vendor. That's right, we're not going to sell this to players, we're just going to vendor all of these male 5-in-1 and make a pretty penny. Ta-da! And here we are with a lot of money in our pockets, which will let you buy all the recipes and vendor armor in the game. It'll give you enough money to buy your bag space and buy some more bags. And as a bonus, if you like armor smithing, you already made a start at that profession because you're already gonna have 20 to 30 points in armor smithing at the very least. So here you go, that's your way of making some really easy money. If this is too elaborate for you and you don't have the time or the patience to deal with the crafting, or you don't want to have your computer running while you do something else, then I would advise you to just collect stacks of logs, limonite and flax and sell those to players. But as we all know, that relies on supply and demand and you might not be able to sling your wares as quickly. So good luck with making your money in Gloria Victis and may the wood billets be with you. But until then, I've been the CloakingDonkey and I'll see you in another video.